December 2022, Google CEO Sundar Pichai calls an emergency meeting. A 2-year-old startup called OpenAI just released something that could destroy Google's $200 billion search empire. Within 48 hours, Google declared a code red, their first ever in over a decade. What happened next shocked the entire tech industry, and today we're witnessing the biggest tech war since Microsoft versus Apple. Let me set the scene. For 25 years, Google has been untouchable. They process 8.5 billion searches every single day. Their search algorithm is so dominant, Google it has become a verb. But on November 30th, 2022, everything changed when OpenAI released ChatGPT to the public. Within 5 days, ChatGPT had 1 million users. Within 2 months, it hit 100 million users, becoming the fastest growing consumer application of all time. ChatGPT was threatening the Google monopoly, replacing Google searches with ChatGPT conversations. Data showed that Google search traffic dropped following the release of ChatGPT, the first decline in Google's history. If the drop was a conservative 1% in search traffic, that represents 3.2 billion lost searches per month. At an estimated 5 cents per search, Google would be hemorrhaging $160 million monthly just from that tiny drop. But the real shock came when Google realized just how far behind it really was. What Google discovered in their emergency internal company audit was shocking. They had dozens of AI projects running simultaneously within Google, but none could match ChatGPT's conversational ability. Google had spent years working on AI. They invented the transformer architecture, the very architecture that ChatGPT is built on. They had Lambda, Bard, and dozens of AI projects, but they were too scared to release them. Why? Because AI could cannibalize their own search revenue. Google's own internal studies showed that AI-powered searches would reduce ad clicks, and with search ads generating $162 billion annually for Google, AI threatened to cost Google billions of dollars per year. They had built the perfect trap for themselves. Build an AI and release it, and it could save Google's future, but it would also destroy its present. Google would eventually choose to bite the bullet, prompting an emergency response within Google that had never been seen before. But here's the embarrassing part. Their first AI response, Bard, was so bad it gave wrong information in its own demo. Engineers internally had warned that Google's AI was not ready for public release, but Google pushed on anyways. That single mistake, claiming the James Webb Telescope took the first pictures of exoplanets, cost Google more than most companies are worth. But then the crisis got worse. Within months of ChatGPT's launch, Google lost dozens of AI researchers to OpenAI, Anthropic, and other AI startups. Meanwhile, Microsoft saw an opportunity. They invested billions of dollars into OpenAI and integrated ChatGPT into Bing. Suddenly, Bing was cool again. For the first time in decades, people were choosing Bing over Google for something. Microsoft's strategy was brilliant and ruthless. They gave away AI-powered Bing for free, while Google still charged for advanced AI features. Microsoft was positioning itself as the AI company, while Google looked like the dinosaur protecting an old business model. By 2024, the AI war had 3 fronts. First, the search war. ChatGPT launched ChatGPT Search, directly attacking Google's core business. Second, the browser war. AI is now built into Chrome, Edge, and Safari. Third, the war for ownership of the future. Whoever controls AI controls the next generation of computing. When ChatGPT Search launched in 2022, it took the AI wars to a whole other level. Unlike Google's link-based results, ChatGPT searches provided direct answers with real-time data. No clicking through 10 blue links, no sifting through ads, just pure instant value. Then the browser war entered the picture. Microsoft integrated AI directly into Edge's address bar. You could literally talk to your browser like a person. Google responded by adding Gemini to Chrome, but they were playing catch-up on their own platform. Apple shocked everyone by choosing ChatGPT for Siri, completely bypassing Google's AI offerings. Google's response was massive. They went on the offensive. They began aggressively integrating AI into every Google product and spent over $20 billion on AI development in 2024 alone. But there was a problem. Google's Gemini had similarly disastrous hallucinations to its Bard predecessor. In one instance, it recommended eating 1 small rock a day as being part of a healthy diet. So who's winning the AI wars? The numbers tell an interesting story. ChatGPT is now used by over 100 million people each week, activity that rivals the scale of billions of Google searches. For the first time in 2 decades, Google's once untouchable search dominance has slipped, dipping below 90% market share. A few percentage points might sound minor, but at Google scale, even small declines translate into billions in potential revenue at risk. But here's the hidden metric that reveals the true state of the battle: session duration. Average ChatGPT conversations last for a couple minutes, while Google search sessions on average last less than a minute. The generational divide is also stark. Users under 25 prefer ChatGPT for complex questions 68% of the time, while users over 45 still prefer Google 73% of the time. As it currently appears, Google owns the present, but OpenAI will own the future. But there is an opening for Google to challenge OpenAI on the AI search front. Google has massive data accumulated from decades of user searches. They know what 4 billion people search for every day. They know what you click, what you buy, and where you go. OpenAI has conversations, but Google has behavior. This behavioral data makes Google's AI recommendations eerily accurate, while ChatGPT is essentially guessing based on patterns in text. The question is, in the age of AI, what's more valuable? But the AI wars aren't just happening between Google and OpenAI. Meta, Amazon, Apple, and dozens of other startups are all fighting for AI supremacy. Meta in particular has become infamous for dishing out some of the most outrageous offers in tech history: $100 million salaries, private jets, and multi-year retention bonuses, all to lure top AI researchers into its secretive AI labs. Yet, for all that spending, the results have been underwhelming. Teams recruited under these golden contracts often churn quickly, leaving Meta with one of the most subpar AI offerings within big tech. The enterprise war is equally heated. Google Workspace now includes AI writing, coding, and analysis tools. Microsoft 365 Copilot does the same. Both companies are essentially giving away AI to protect their subscription revenue, but OpenAI is targeting enterprises directly with ChatGPT Team and enterprise versions, threatening to displace both Microsoft and Google's productivity suites entirely, which is very interesting when you consider that Microsoft is OpenAI's biggest backer, but at the same time, Microsoft and OpenAI are engaged in a war within the AI space. And the fight doesn't stop with spreadsheets and documents. It extends into the developer trenches. Code editors, once a sleepy domain dominated by Microsoft's Visual Studio Code, have erupted into a full-on AI battleground. Cursor AI, Windsurf, and Lovable have each raised tens of millions of dollars, offering AI-native coding environments that don't just autocomplete functions, but rewrite entire files, fix bugs on the fly, and even propose new architectures. Cursor alone has reported hundreds of thousands of active users, with paid plans climbing rapidly as developers flock to tools that feel like co-pilots rather than static editors. These editors are becoming so powerful that users are building entire end-to-end applications from scratch with little more than natural language prompts. This paints a picture of an enterprise AI war on two fronts: giants like Microsoft and Google fortifying their castles with bundled AI, while nimble upstarts and OpenAI itself attempt to steal the workforce away by reshaping the very tools knowledge workers and developers use every day. The geopolitical stakes are also intense. Chinese tech giants like Baidu, Tencent, and SenseTime are racing to develop AI technologies with strong government backing. The result is a high-stakes geopolitical duel where innovation, national security, and economic power are colliding. Meanwhile, the European Union is flexing its regulatory muscle with the AI Act, setting strict rules around transparency, safety, and accountability. AI companies face fines, operational restrictions, or outright bans if they fail to comply. Suddenly, a breakthrough in AI isn't just a technical achievement, it's a legal and diplomatic minefield. Geopolitics, regulation, and corporate strategy are now inseparable, and the outcome of these global battles could decide which countries and companies control the future of artificial intelligence. Here's my prediction for how this war ends. Google won't die. They are too big and have too much data, but their monopoly is most certainly over. We're entering an era where AI assistants become the new browsers and conversations become the new searches. The company that makes AI feel most human will win the next decade. The winner won't be determined by who has the smartest AI, but who solves AI's biggest problems first: hallucinations, bias, and energy consumption. The first company to solve these problems will dominate the next phase of computing. My prediction: by 2027, we will have 3 AI ecosystems: Google's integrated ecosystem, Microsoft's productivity-focused ecosystem, and OpenAI's conversation-native ecosystem. Users will choose based on their primary need, research, work, or creativity. Essentially, the search wars will end not with a winner, but with specialization. Right now, it's looking like OpenAI will assume the biggest market share of the future AI landscape, but Google has unlimited money. The war is just beginning, and the winner will control how 8 billion people access information. The real wildcard, though, is Apple. They've been quietly building AI capabilities while Google and OpenAI fight publicly. Apple's advantage isn't technology, it's integration. Siri, despite its limitations, is already on 1.5 billion devices. If Apple makes Siri as smart as ChatGPT, they could win the AI wars without ever fighting in them. But keep in mind, these are just the early days. The AI war isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. If you want a front row seat to the sheer trillion-dollar insanity that is the AI war, smash the like button and subscribe. If you want me to make a part 2 of the AI wars, going in depth into corporate espionage, talent poaching, and billion-dollar lawsuits, and everything in between, comment down below, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.